July, 1518. Strasbourg. A woman steps into the street and begins to dance. No feast. No music. No wedding. Just one body moving in the summer heat while the city watches. Her name is often given as Frau Trophia. Some accounts say she danced for days, collapsing from exhaustion, then rising again as if something inside her would not let the movement stop. Then the impossible thing happened. Other people joined. Not one or two, but enough that the city could no longer treat it as one woman's illness. The dance was spreading. Imagine standing in a medieval street and seeing your neighbors moving without joy, without control, their bodies trapped in the same rhythm. Some looked terrified. Some looked half asleep. And nobody knew what had begun. By some later accounts, hundreds may have danced. The most dramatic versions claim people died from exhaustion, heart attacks, or strokes. Historians still debate those death counts. But the panic itself was real enough to enter the records. Strasbourg's leaders needed an explanation. The physicians considered the body. The clergy considered the soul. The city council considered public order. But the dancers kept moving. At first, some doctors thought the dancers suffered from overheated blood. In the medicine of the time, a strange cure followed from that strange diagnosis. If dancing was the sickness, perhaps more dancing would burn it out. So the authorities did something that sounds almost unbelievable today. They reportedly cleared space for the dancers. They brought in musicians. They gave the plague a stage. Picture the scene: pipes, drums, and exhausted feet on wooden floors. Officials watching with dread. Families begging loved ones to stop. And the cure becoming part of the nightmare. When that failed, the explanation shifted. Maybe this was not a sickness of blood. Maybe it was a curse. In parts of Europe, St. Vitus was associated with dancing mania, and fear of divine punishment shaped what people believed they saw. The city began sending dancers toward religious help. Processions, prayers, and pilgrimage replaced the stage. The afflicted were led away from the streets, toward shrines, toward ritual, toward anything that might break the rhythm. The dancing plague was not the only event of its kind. Medieval and early modern Europe recorded other outbreaks of dancing mania. But Strasbourg in 1518 became the case people could not forget. Modern explanations are less supernatural, but not less disturbing. Some historians point to mass psychogenic illness, extreme stress becoming physical behavior that spreads through a community under pressure. Strasbourg had reasons to be afraid. Disease, hunger, religious tension, poverty, and social pressure could all sit inside a city like invisible heat. Then one person broke. And others followed. Other theories have appeared too: ergot poisoning from moldy grain, ritual behavior, neurological illness, religious terror. None explains everything perfectly. The mystery survives because the evidence is real, but incomplete. And that is what makes the story so unsettling. The monster was not hiding in a castle. It was in the crowd. In the body. In the mind. In the fear that one person's panic could become a city's movement. Eventually, the dancing faded. The streets quieted. The musicians stopped. The officials moved on. But the question remained: what can make ordinary people surrender control of their own bodies? When people say the city danced itself to death, they are repeating the legend at its sharpest edge. The documented truth is more careful, and perhaps more frightening. In 1518, Strasbourg saw fear become contagious. A woman danced. Then others danced. Then the city tried to cure the impossible with more of the impossible. And 500 years later, we still do not know exactly why the music started in their heads.